Well, folks, as mentioned at the end of yesterday's vlog, this is kind of a part 2 continuation of what happened yesterday. We're still down in London. It is Saturday night, and as mentioned yesterday, Amy got robbed about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Before anyone, because I know how these videos work sometimes, she's asked to do this.
I have.
If you watched yesterday's video, you'll have seen that from the moment it happened, there was nothing else vlogged. We didn't vlog the attempt to, we were on our way to the Rainforest Cafe. We didn't vlog any of that. We didn't vlog the trip home. The camera's not been on because, as far as I was concerned, we just shut it off and deal with the situation, and I thought that was going to be that. But this one has insisted that we do a video. So who am I to tell the person who is the victim of the crime that they can't get what they want? So we're going to talk you through what happened. So if you haven't watched yesterday's vlog, I'm not going to go over everything that we did yesterday. So by all means, watch the rest of this video, but you might want to go back and watch the last 5 minutes of that one just to get some context of what was going on. But we were heading over into the centre of London, weren't we?
Yes.
We'd gone on the longest tube ride in history.
It was.
We'd been on the tube for like 35, 40 minutes. It was super crowded. The whole of London was super crowded. We got off the tube at Piccadilly Circus, which, if you've ever been to London, you'll know Piccadilly Circus Saturday evening is a circus. That's probably where it gets its name from. It is just insane. There's cars and buses and everything going in all directions. There's horns honking, there's bright lights everywhere, there's people everywhere banging into each other, rustling and bustling, and just, it's busy. And obviously we were taking Andy into that part of London for the first time, and I was trying to make a video, so I'm there vlogging myself. I did this last little clip as we hit Piccadilly Circus that I'll put over my face now so you can see what we were doing, and we walked on a little bit further, and we'd got to the point where we were outside the Rainforest Cafe, and I was just picking the camera up to like do an establishing shot outside the Rainforest Cafe, and I think it was Lucy yelled, "Dad, Amy's had her phone taken." And because you were walking a little bit behind where me and Annika and Andy were. Yeah, so we were kind of in 2 groups of 3, those 3, and I was at the front sort of filming Andy getting to the restaurant, so I wasn't with them at the time, and they were maybe 5 yards behind us on the path.
I could literally see you in the camera. I could see what you were filming on the camera.
Yeah, and do you want to tell the story, or shall I tell the story based on what you've told me?
Right, so Lucy had literally just gone like a step in front of me, slightly to the side, because she was just stood right next to me. She went like a step in front, and then I felt like a tug on my pocket, and the tug, obviously because I was walking quite fast, they probably were trying to get in my pocket, and they pulled my thing that turned me around. I looked straight at them, and I watched them take my phone out of my pocket and just walk away, and I was like frozen because I thought they were trying to grab me. And then I see Lucy, and I just started sobbing, which is why I have mascara all over my face. And then, obviously, Lucy screams for you.
By which point, the person who took the phone was
gone.
Well, we think they were stood in the middle of the road across from us.
Yeah.
Come over. Lucy wants to come and get involved. Come and sit with us. Hello.
No.
You're going to have to sit forward a little bit, or you look like a dwarf sat with us.
I just want to say, because she pointed this person out pretty much straight away, and he was almost next to us for a while. It was so busy on the road you couldn't cross, and like he was loitering, wasn't he, for a while?
Yeah, he was, because it said it's a road that's got one of those little bits halfway across where you cross half the road, then you cross the rest of the way. So by the time I got back to them, you pointed him out to me, and he was stood smoking a cigarette in the middle of the road. And
that was like 2 meters away.
But I said, "Are you absolutely certain it's him?" And it was like, "I think so." And I'm like, unless you can tell me you're absolutely certain, I'm not going to go and get your phone back. And it turns out Anna gave me a lecture afterwards for that response anyway, because if I had have marched over there and clobbered him over the head with my camera and taken the phone back, apparently I'd have gone to prison. So it's probably just as well.
In the moment, I wasn't 100% sure. And looking back to it, I know it's him. I can still picture exactly what he looks like.
I think it was, but it's for the best. No one did anything.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's only a phone. And we've already got it sorted where the phone is cancelled, the contract is cancelled, there's a new
Apple
SIM
ID
card being
sorted.
sent out. We're sorting her out with a new phone. It is just a phone.
Yeah.
No one was hurt. No one's going to prison. We'll get on to the actual reporting of it in a second.
It was scary, wasn't it?
Well, my initial response was that I felt him grab my coat. I thought he was grabbing me. So when I saw my phone, it didn't even occur that it was my phone until I couldn't find my phone. And I just freaked out because I thought he was trying to grab me. So I was just like full panic attacking, sobbing into Lucy. And Lucy was like, what's going on? Because obviously she didn't see it happen. She literally just had me sobbing and saying my phone was gone. So it was like, it was very...
I think if you hear that it's just a phone gone, it seemed like quite a big reaction. But because he caught you,
I think everybody thought I was overreacting.
No.
But the people in the shop were like, "What's going on?" But my initial response was that he was grabbing me, and I was frozen.
It was shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
So, from there... Now, obviously, again, further context, we're out as a 6. Andy is with us. It's his first ever time in central London. It's his first time on the tube. It's his first time being anywhere that's as busy as that. So we've now got like a double-sided problem because we've got Amy, who obviously is absolutely distraught. We've got me trying to explain, because we just went straight into the Rainforest Cafe because I thought it happened directly outside. So I thought, so let's go in there. They've got CCTV, probably, and if nothing else, we can go and have a sit down and a calm down and figure out what to do next. So we went in there, but obviously Andy's never been there before, and Andy wanted the toilet. So as soon as we got in there, we basically went straight to the desk, explained that Amy had been robbed. They were fantastic. The staff at Rainforest Cafe were fantastic.
So
there was 5 or 6 of them who helped us for the 45 minutes or so that we were in there, and they were all super helpful. So they took Anna and Andy off downstairs to go to the toilet so Andy could go to the toilet. They got Amy a glass of water and a chair. They saved our table for us, which we didn't end up using because of what ended up happening next. And then I got on with phoning the police.
I was worried about that.
You were so aggressive. If you got CCTV, like
You were, but he was worried.
Well, no, I was
He went
being
into
direct,
dad
not
mode.
aggressive. Yeah.
He went into
Like,
dad mode.
really stern. It's like they don't know what's going on.
Well, no, by that point I'd already said she'd been robbed. I said,
Oh,
she's just been robbed outside. Do you have CCTV?
Because they were like,
no messing.
why is she sobbing?
Yeah, tell me if you have CCTV.
They came over straight away. So
They
I've
did.
got in my ears, Mummy, toilet.
Yeah.
Mummy. Yes, I've done it.
So, we've got Andy downstairs with Anna. We've got Amy being hugged by Lucy, glass of water in hand. Owen's holding everything for us.
Literally was like, he was given everything.
And I then got on with the lovely task of phoning the police. If you've ever tried to phone the police in London. I mean, I've phoned the police a couple of times in my life, but never in London. And my initial flabbergastedness was because I was put on hold. Rang 999. They said, what service do you need? Police, please. And then I was put in a queue. And I appreciate it's a big city, it's busy, but I was in a queue for 3 or 4 minutes before I even got through to... I mean, I'm thinking, if I was being stabbed right now, well, I'm dead, aren't I? Before I've even managed to speak to somebody. I eventually got through to somebody. I explained what had happened, where it had happened, gave them all the address details, explained that we were out of town, and they just pretty much said straight away, yeah, we don't send people out for stuff like this. What I can do is transfer you over to I forget what they call it, the digital, Anna will know, the digital forensics team. I was transferred over to them. Meanwhile, Lucy's on the phone to her mum, getting the contract cancelled and all that stuff. And the way it's been left at the moment, after again being on hold for ages, getting through to this digital forensics team, I've got a crime number. I need to ring them back and give them all the details later. But it's literally a case of I need to go and give them the details to confirm the crime number so we can make an insurance claim if we want to, which we're probably not going to because it's a phone that's relatively straightforward to replace, and it will probably end up cheaper in the long run to just replace it rather than doing an insurance claim. But yeah, the police was not what I expected. I don't know what I expected really. I thought someone was going to rush over and help us, but what can they do even?
He was long gone.
Yeah, even the description we've got of the guy is he was wearing a coat and he was smoking a cigarette, and it's February in London. Everyone was wearing a coat and smoking a cigarette. But of course, while all this was going on, and while Lucy is doing a cracking job of calming...
She was really good, because I was having a panic attack, and she was like, she got her scarf and helped put it over my mouth so I could try and calm down.
It's handy having a nursey sister, isn't it? Who knows what to do.
It is, though.
The scarf thing.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds very bad.
No, it's... Lucy told me this on the way here, so I actually know what it is. It's to help constrict the oxygens going into my brain because there's too much of it, or something like that.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's like when you get them to breathe into a brown paper bag when they have an asthma attack, isn't it?
I don't know why I had to specify brown.
Because what other paper bags do you see? They're always brown.
Fair enough.
But of course, while all this is going on, Amy's slowly but surely calming down, and Andy's anxiety levels are rising and rising and rising. Can I swap you for this one, for this bit? Come on over. We're just having a little change in personnel because the next part of the story Amy wasn't a part of. This is what's going on while...
That was me.
This is what's going on while Lucy is calming Amy down. So, you went downstairs with Andy to go to the toilet.
It's lovely down there, by the way.
I've never been. Important extra little piece of content. I'm all over the place, so you can tell this is a completely unplanned video. But the restaurant at Rainforest Cafe is all underground. So that's the reason we had to stay up in the shop area. Because I'm on hold to the police for a good half hour or so, we can't go underground, because as soon as we go underground into the restaurant where the lovely staff were holding our table and said, you can go and sit down there if you want. And I said, yeah, but I'm on the phone. If I go down there, it's going to cut off.
It was cut. The lady's like...
Yeah, so I can't... We couldn't go down there. So Andy had a little corner to sit in after you came back upstairs. Mm-hmm. And he was really good for quite a long time, wasn't he?
He had his phone, he had a spring, sitting on the floor, and then sat on a chair.
But
which
then,
I'm assuming was your chair.
Yeah, it was the chair Amy. It was the chair they fetched for Amy. And Andy ended up on it. But obviously his patience only stretched so far.
And he was already up here.
Yeah, because he'd just been on the tube for the first time, which was super busy. He'd just been through Piccadilly Circus for the first time, that was super busy. He was in a place he didn't really want to be. He had his dinner before we went out, so he wasn't even hungry. We're out at a restaurant for dinner. He's just going through the motions. He just wants to get back on the train again because he really enjoyed the train, even though it was super busy. So it got to the point where he just decided he'd had enough and basically went for the door, didn't he?
Yes he did.
And this is the first time we've talked a lot over the last couple of weeks about how he's been having meltdowns at school and then at respite, and we hadn't seen any of it at home. Well, we have now finally seen one of the new style meltdowns, haven't we? Because after a certain amount of him trying to leave and us having to stop him,
because I was like, we'll go wait for you to get off the phone because we can't go downstairs, and then we'll go and sit down. He went. He headed for the door. It's busy in there, so I had to push people out of the way.
Well, it's busy in Rainforest Cafe, but also straight outside that door, there's two things. There's a really busy road, and there's the spot where half an hour before one of us had got robbed. So we had two reasons to not want to be stood out on that street with Andy. So
I told the woman not to open the door because she was the...
Yeah, she was going to open the door to let him out, but you just sort of called to say, don't let him out. And he dropped to the floor and started trying to take his clothes off and punched you in the face.
So he tried to bite my arms because I was not like hurting him, but I was holding him tight because that's what I was doing like 10 minutes before to calm him down. And he went to bite me, but thankfully I had that coat on, which is quite thick. So he couldn't bite through the coat. So he didn't bite through my coat. And then because he couldn't bite me, he flat palmed me straight in my face, forcefully.
At which point, I'd just been connected to the forensics people, and that's when I said to them, look, I can't do this now. my other kid's having a meltdown, he's autistic, can I ring you back? And thankfully they were really helpful. They've sent me all the details I need through to a text. So I've got a text with the crime number and who to call and what to say and everything that I've said so far. It's all in a text. It's really good. So when we're settled and when we've had something to eat, she said I could even do it tomorrow. It doesn't even have to be tonight. Just at some point, give them a ring, give them all the details, because that then activates the crime number or something, which means we can then make an insurance claim if we want to. But obviously at that point we decided...
Well, he was kicking. He was trying to kick. His shoes had come off. Then Lucy had come over. And because of the way he got himself, he was holding my arm down because I had his bag on my arm. So I had to pull that out with trying to keep him down. And then he hit a... what was that? A picture frame. That fell on me. And then you were like, and then you came over, and then everyone was like,
yeah, because that's when I handed the phone to Lucy and said, you finish this off, I've got to go and sort this now. And then we got it all arranged that we could call back later.
As soon as we told him we were going, it was fine.
Yeah, we just...
He got
and
up,
then we left,
left.
Went back to the tube. It was still pretty busy on the way back again, still very crowded.
He apologised, though.
Yeah, he did. Interestingly, he never seemed to... lose control. So it does feed in a little bit to what the doctor said at CAMS earlier in the week, when he wondered if it was an anxiety and meltdown thing or whether he'd learned a new response behaviour at school that was now seeping out into other areas of his life. And we were speculating a little bit on the train on the way back that he seemed to know what he was doing.
I think it's to do with the sleep thing, because we've told him to stop him sleeping, so he's going to kick off. And now he's learned that if he does that, they probably let him have free time or something.
Yeah. So we need to nip it in the bud. But long story long, because it's like a 20-minute video now. We had a bad evening. Amy had a very bad evening. Andy had a very bad evening. The rest of us have had pretty bad evenings too. And it's nearly 9 o'clock, and I'm very, very hungry for the second day in a row. So,
oh,
I know.
Oh, dear me.
Yeah, let's face it. I've got it worse than anybody. I'm eating it, gone 2 days in a row. But yeah, it's all been a bit rubbish. But the important thing is, Amy is okay, aren't you? Yeah. Come back on and show him you're okay. We've got all our phone cancelled and everything. Thankfully,
Am I in?
Yes.
I'm good.
Because I'm the way I am, I obviously have a spare phone with me.
No, yeah.
So we're going to sort her out with a phone tonight so she can have a phone for the rest of the weekend and stuff, and try not to let it ruin the rest of the weekend, because up until that point, we'd been having yes, it was busy on the tube and everything, but I think we'd had a good day.
Oh,
The tube was a nightmare, but... yeah, it was...
Makes me not want to move here sometimes. I hate it when it's like...
all so...
wet and sweaty and... lost Lucy and...
Yeah, well, that was all on yesterday's video. I know there's going to be a few people, because there's always a few people who just need to get over themselves, but if anyone is whinging and moaning that this was a separate video rather than being in yesterday's video, look how long this video was. And... it was about something completely different to yesterday's video. So yeah, I made 2 videos. Yeah. And if it annoys you that I clickbaited this video, which I probably have, because again, Amy and Lucy have told me to clickbait it, because I've got to buy her a new phone. So let me clickbait a video, okay? I need to buy a new phone now that I didn't have a budget for before. So we'll say goodbye there. We're going to order some Deliveroo, and we'll be back tomorrow with the second of our 3 days down here in London, and hopefully it'll be a better, more positive, more fun day. Agreed? I'm spinning the camera around onto you lot now. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We agree.
You can see us on our station trying to...
Andy's in bed. See you tomorrow, folks.